why our own people turn against us when we become successful. Keep that king mentality in front of you, always dripping, never tripping. All I need is my money. The hustle continues no matter what. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment on how you feel about this topic. So let's get into it. Success is a beautiful thing, but it comes with challenges that nobody warns you about. One of the hardest realities of success is facing betrayal, often by those you thought were closest to you. It's something many people can relate to, whether they've experienced it personally or watched it play out in public figures' lives. Let's dive into this using the story of Megan Thee Stallion and some personal connections that might resonate with you. Right? So, let's get into this. When you start succeeding, it doesn't just change your life, it affects those around you. Megan Thee Stallion is a perfect example. She was already climbing in the music industry, becoming the star she was always meant to be, right? But as her fame grew, not everyone was clapping for her, even the people closest to her. Those she might have trusted with her life felt a shift. In Megan's case, her success highlighted insecurities in others. It led to a painful situation with Tory Lanez, and then later, her friend turned against her. For some people watching a friend rise up brings out jealousy. They can't help but question, why not me? Instead of being inspired, they feel left behind, and that resentment starts to build. When Megan got shot, instead of getting support, people doubted her, even her friend, who was supposed to be in her corner, right? She seemed to turn against her. Imagine how that feels, to go through trauma only to have those closest to you question your truth or even side with the person who hurt you. You know, it shows us that success doesn't just bring out the best in people. Sometimes it brings out the worst. This reminds me of my cousin Gunnerz, who became successful on YouTube. He worked hard, built a following, and then wanted to help others do the same. He put people on, showing them the game, teaching them what he had learned, right? But the very people he'd helped, they turned on him. Once they found success of their own, you know, they saw him as competition instead of an ally, instead of collabing, coming together, right? You know, there's this concept called the crabs in a bucket mentality, and it explains a lot of what Megan went through. When one crab starts climbing, out of the bucket, the others pull it back down. They don't want anyone else to escape because it highlights the fact that they're still stuck. For Megan, her rise showed others that, what they lacked or how far they were from achieving their own dreams. And instead of cheering her on, they try to bring her down. It's crazy. Our own people turn against us. Another harsh reality is that people will often side with the person who appears more powerful or influential. Tory Lanez was successful, well-liked, and he played into the narrative that he didn't do anything wrong, right? Megan, on the other hand, was going through public trauma. She had to defend herself, all while being accused, questioned, and dragged to the mud. People found it easier to believe the version of events where she was lying or exaggerating because it fit their narrative better, right? This tendency shows up every day in life. When someone close to you does something wrong, it's often easier to pretend it didn't happen or to turn on the victim rather than confront the hard truth. Megan became the target. Even though she was the one who got hurt, got shot, dragged to the mud, right? Think about what fueled that night for Megan and Tory. Alcohol, the heat of the moment, and maybe even unresolved jealousy. Drugs and alcohol can turn small insecurities into big actions, especially when pride and ego are involved. In a split second, an argument can turn into something life-altering. We've all seen it happen. People make split-second decisions that change everything. Alcohol, drugs, or even the pressure of the moment can turn someone who used to be close into an enemy. They might regret it later, but the damage is done. You know, success changes relationships because it shifts the balance of power and influence. Megan found herself isolated because, in the eyes of some, her success meant she had to be taken down a notch, right? Her very success became a target on her back, making her more vulnerable to betrayal and judgment. Megan faced judgment not only from her friends, but also from the public. People who were supposed to be her fans, turned into her critics overnight. The pressure to be perfect as a public figure means that when you go through trauma, the world watches. And some will find any reason to discredit you. One of the biggest lessons from Megan's story is the power of an altered mind. All it takes is one moment under the influence, one heated argument, one split-second decision, and everything can change. We saw that with Tory Lanez, right? And we see it all the time with people we know. That's why keeping a clear head, especially in tense situations, is so important. One wrong move can make or break not just your life, but the lives of those around you. For anyone facing betrayal, like Megan or my cousin Gunner, the biggest challenge is to keep going. It's easy to want to shut down, to stop sharing your talent with the world, but that's when resilience comes in. Megan kept going, showing that even though people turned on her, she wouldn't let them stop her from reaching her dreams. When success starts causing people around you to show their true colors, it's a test. People will either support you or resent you. And that resentment often has nothing to do with you. It's about their own fear, insecurity, and jealousy. Like Megan, you have to stay true to who you are. Keep putting in the work. Keep your head up. And remember that the people who turn against you weren't meant to come with you on this journey. Betrayal is painful, but it's also a powerful reminder that not everyone is built to handle your success. Stay focused on your purpose and let the rest fall where it may. With that, hit that like and subscribe button.